Have you ever caught yourself looking around and thinking, everyone else seems to be moving ahead, and I feel like I'm falling behind? Whether it's career milestones, relationships, health goals, or those big life achievements, there's this quiet, nagging fear that as the years pass, you're somehow missing the boat. And in a world obsessed with timelines and deadlines, it's easy to feel like you're not where you should be. But here's the thing. Feeling left behind by age is something almost every person grapples with at some point. It doesn't matter if you're 25, 45, or 70. And what's interesting is that long before social media, career ladders, and endless self-comparisons, ancient wisdom traditions like Buddhism had already explored this very human fear, the anxiety of time, impermanence, and self-worth. Today, I want to introduce you to 5 powerful Buddhist truths that offer a refreshing, grounding perspective, not just to ease those feelings of falling behind, but to help you genuinely shift the way you view your life's journey. These insights aren't about blind optimism or pretending everything's fine. They're about seeing things as they truly are, embracing impermanence, and finding peace in the present moment, no matter where you are on your path. So, whether you're feeling behind in your career, relationships, personal growth, or just life in general, I invite you to pause with me for the next few minutes. Let's gently untangle those feelings together and rediscover a sense of calm, wisdom, and self-compassion through these age-old teachings. You might just realize you were never really behind after all. 1. Life is suffering. Yeah, not exactly the most uplifting thing to hear, right? But hang with me, because this isn't about being negative. It's about seeing something real about life that once you understand it, changes everything. When we hear the word suffering, we usually think of physical pain, loss, or heartbreak. But in this case, it means something deeper. It's that constant nagging feeling of dissatisfaction we all deal with sometimes. It's the frustration when things don't go our way, the fear of losing something we care about, the craving for more happiness, more success, more time. And even when life's good, there's often that little voice in the back of your head wondering, how long is this gonna last? You've probably felt it. You land your dream job, and a few months later, you're already restless, wondering what's next. You buy something new, and before long, it just blends into the background. Or you finally get something you were sure would make you happy, but somehow it doesn't completely fill the space you hoped it would. That's the kind of suffering we're talking about. And why does it happen? Because we hold on too tightly to things that are always changing. We hope good feelings will stick around forever. We expect life to be this steady, non-stop stream of happiness and ease. And when it isn't, we get frustrated, anxious, or disappointed. But here's the thing. The moment you stop expecting life to always feel good, the moment you stop clinging so tightly to things staying a certain way, you actually start to find peace even when life isn't perfect. You realize it's okay to have ups and downs. It's normal for good moments to fade, and it's possible to feel steady and calm even when things around you aren't going the way you hoped. You stop fighting against reality, and you start moving with it. So no, this isn't about giving up on happiness or settling for misery. It's about understanding how life really works, so you can stop chasing some impossible, flawless version of it. And when you do, you'll find a quiet kind of peace that isn't shaken by every little high and low, a peace that sticks around even when life doesn't go according to plan. And honestly, that might be one of the most freeing feelings you'll ever experience. 2. Everything is impermanent. All right, let's talk about something we all kind of know deep down, but hate to admit. Nothing lasts forever. Good moments, bad moments, relationships, feelings, success, failure. It all changes, constantly. And honestly, the sooner we stop fighting that, the easier life gets. See, a lot of our stress, anxiety, and frustration comes from this unspoken expectation that life should stay the way we want it to. We want the good times to last forever. We want people to stay the same. We want certain feelings to stick around, but life doesn't work like that. It never has. Think about it. You're having an amazing night out with friends, and in the back of your mind, you're already sad it's gonna end. Or you hit a major win at work, and a week later, you're chasing the next one because the high faded faster than you thought it would. Or on the flip side, you go through something tough, and at the time it feels like it's never going to get better. But it always does, doesn't it? And the reason we struggle so much with this is because we cling. We hold on tight to what feels good, and we panic when things start to shift. But the truth is, everything in life is always moving. Your moods, your circumstances, the people in your life, the version of yourself you were 5 years ago, all of it changes. And trying to freeze things in place is what creates a lot of unnecessary suffering. But here's the beautiful part. When you really start to accept that nothing stays the same, you get better at letting go. You learn to appreciate good moments while they're here instead of stressing about when they'll end. And you find comfort in the fact that the tough moments won't last either. You start living more in the now because you realize it's the only thing you actually have. So no, this isn't about being detached or not caring about anything. It's about recognizing how life works so you don't get blindsided by it. The people you love, the wins you chase, the struggles you face, they're all temporary. And that's not depressing. It's what makes those moments so meaningful. So next time you catch yourself clinging to a feeling or dreading a change, take a breath. Appreciate it for what it is right now. And remember, this too shall pass, and that's kind of the point. 3. The self is an illusion. All right, let's get a little weird for a second. What if I told you you're not who you think you are? Like that idea of me, myself, I, it's not as solid as it feels. And honestly, once you realize that, life gets a whole lot lighter. See, most of us grow up believing there's this fixed, unchanging self inside us, like a little character sitting behind our eyes, steering the ship. But when you really slow down and pay attention, what you find is that you are constantly changing. Your thoughts, your emotions, your opinions, your habits, they're always shifting. The version of you from 10 years ago, totally different person. The version of you tomorrow, probably going to feel a little different too. So if everything about you is in constant motion, what's left? Where's this solid self we keep referring to? Ever notice how you react differently to the same situation on different days? One day someone cuts you off in traffic, you're calm, whatever. Next day, you're ready to lose your mind. Same situation, different you. Or how your beliefs and values evolve over time. What you were obsessed with at 20 might not even matter to you now. And that's normal, because who you think you are is just a collection of passing thoughts, feelings, and experiences. So, why does this matter? Because a huge part of our stress, anxiety, and defensiveness comes from clinging to this idea of me and mine. We take everything so personally. We build walls around our egos. We feel attacked when someone disagrees with us or when life doesn't go our way. But when you realize the self isn't fixed, it's more like a constantly shifting stream. You stop taking things so seriously. You stop reacting to every little thing like it's a personal attack. And that's the shift. You start to loosen the grip. You become less defensive, less reactive, more open, more curious, more connected to other people, because you realize they're just as fluid and ever-changing as you are. It makes you a little more compassionate, a little more forgiving, not just to others, but to yourself, too. So no, this isn't about saying you don't exist. It's about realizing that what you call you isn't this rigid, permanent thing. It's flexible, it changes, and that's actually a good thing, because it means you're not stuck. You're not your mistakes. You're not yesterday's mood. You're not defined by what someone else thinks of you. You're a work in progress, and so is everybody else. 4. Attachment is the root of suffering. All right, here's a tough truth most of us don't like to admit. A lot of our pain in life comes from attachment. Not just attachment to people, but to outcomes, to ideas, to things staying exactly how we want them to. And the more tightly we cling, the more it hurts when life inevitably changes. See, from the moment we're born, we start chasing. We chase pleasure. We avoid pain. We hold on tight to people, jobs, possessions, even ideas about who we think we are, hoping they'll make us feel whole or safe or happy forever. But nothing stays the same. People leave, plans fall apart, good feelings fade, and when we're attached, those natural changes feel like personal tragedies. You've probably felt it. You fall in love and get terrified of losing them. You land a big opportunity, and suddenly you're anxious about what happens if it slips away. Or you get something you've always wanted, and before long, you're chasing the next thing because it didn't fill you up the way you thought it would. The truth is, it's not the things themselves that cause the suffering. It's our attachment to them, our belief that we need them to be okay. But here's the powerful shift. You can still love deeply, chase goals, and care about things without clinging to them. You can love someone without making them your entire sense of identity. You can succeed without letting it define your worth. You can lose something and not be destroyed by it. And weirdly, when you loosen your grip, you actually start to enjoy life more, because you stop living in constant fear of losing what you have. You appreciate things for what they are while they're here. And this doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care with open hands instead of a closed fist. You realize that everything in life is temporary. And instead of fighting that, you start moving with it, which makes the good moments sweeter and the tough ones a little easier to survive. So if you've been holding on too tightly to something, a relationship, a title, an outcome, maybe it's time to ease your grip. Not because it doesn't matter, but because you'll suffer less when you learn to let things come and go. And honestly, that's where real freedom starts. 5. There's a path to the end of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. So far, we've talked about how life can be messy, how it changes constantly, how attachment hurts, and how chasing control over everything just leaves us exhausted. But here's the good news. There's actually a path out of all that. And it's not some mystery or secret only a few people get to know. It's something anyone can practice every single day. See, one of the biggest misunderstandings about this kind of wisdom is that it's all about recognizing suffering and then just kind of sitting with it. But that's not the point at all. The whole idea is to wake up to how life really works and then actually do something about it. And for centuries, people have been following a simple, clear roadmap to peace of mind, step by step. It's called the Eightfold Path. And no, you don't have to shave your head or move to a monastery to follow it. It's basically 8 principles that guide how you live, think, speak, and act. So you stop creating unnecessary stress for yourself and start moving toward peace. Things like seeing the world clearly without all the filters and drama, setting good, honest intentions, speaking in ways that lift people up instead of tearing them down, choosing actions and work that don't harm others, being mindful of your effort, focus, and attention. It's not about being perfect. It's about making small, conscious choices every day that slowly reshape your life. You know those days when you feel grounded, like things are messy but you're handling it? When you're patient, clear-headed, and not instantly reactive? That's what this path builds toward. Not some mystical enlightenment moment, but a quieter, steadier peace that sticks around even when life's chaotic. And here's the shift. Peace isn't a mystery, it's not luck. It's a practice. It's built by how you live, moment to moment, by the conversations you have, the things you give your energy to, the way you respond when things don't go your way. And over time, those little shifts add up. So no, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. You just have to start. Because every tiny step in the right direction makes life feel a little lighter, a little clearer, and a whole lot more peaceful. So, what does all this mean? Life isn't always easy. Things change. People leave. We chase things that don't last. And sometimes we forget that the version of us we're so attached to isn't as fixed as it seems. But here's the beautiful part. Once you stop fighting those truths, once you let go of clinging, loosen the grip on control, and start walking a different path, life feels lighter. You realize peace isn't about escaping problems. It's about understanding how life works and learning how to move through it with more clarity, kindness, and calm. And that's a practice anyone can start right here, right now. So, thanks for hanging out today. If this hit home for you, drop a comment and let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.